We all know Gears of War for its brutal combat, its iconic characters, and the endless war against the Locust Horde. But every war has a beginning, every nightmare has its first scream, and Gears of War E-Day isn't just another prequel. It's a return to the moment everything went wrong. From everything we've seen so far, this isn't just a new chapter in the story, it feels like a complete reset of tone. A return to fear, a return to panic, a return to the exact second when the world stopped being safe. The more details that do emerge, the clearer it becomes. This might be the most important Gears game since the original trilogy. And honestly, I think it's going to be the darkest, the most terrifying entry the series has ever given us. So let's break it down chapter by chapter and dig deep into exactly why E-Day is shaping up to be pure unfiltered horror. This is E-Day. Forget everything you know about Gears Warfare. This isn't battle, it's not coordinated campaign, it's not a controlled military operation where you know your enemy, your objective, or your next move. This is instant, total collapse. What we're seeing here is the end of civilization. Civilians going about their morning routines, soldiers patrolling thinking they're keeping the peace, the COG government believing they have order finally under control. And then, without warning, the ground itself turns against them. There's no warning, no declaration of war, no intelligence briefings, just the earth cracking open, structures crumbling, and the people screaming because they have no idea what is actually happening. And here's the part that sends chills down my spine. We don't know what's happening either. In every other Gears game, we already know what the Locusts are, we know their tactics, their strengths, their weaknesses, we know they're monsters from underground, but here, we're discovering them at the exact same moment the characters do. We see what they see, something unknown, something emerging from the dark, something that shouldn't exist. This isn't about being a powerful soldier who knows how to fight. It's about being a person who suddenly realizes the world they lived in was never as safe as they thought. The Coalition is leaning hard into immersion here, far more than any other Gears game. You won't feel like a hero at the start, you'll feel small, you'll feel unprepared, you'll feel terrified. And that's exactly what makes this so powerful. This is the part that changes everything for me. And it's the element that will make E-Day far more horrifying than any Gears game before it. We've seen war in this universe, we've seen cities fall, we've seen death, but we've never seen it through the eyes of people who aren't soldiers, people who have no weapons, no training, no way to defend themselves. In E-Day, you'll move through environments where destruction is personal. You'll run past apartment blocks that have been partially collapsed, where families are trapped inside. You'll see emergency routes blocked by rubble, fire, or sinkholes. You'll hear people screaming for help from windows, from under debris, from places you can't even reach. And here's the kicker, you're not just fighting anymore. Every few steps you'll face the impossible choices made in the heart of chaos. You'll push forward to secure a safe area knowing people behind you might die. You stop to help someone risking being overrun. You try and save a group only to realise you can't save everyone. This isn't just combat tension, this is morale tension. This is the weight of knowing that in this kind of disaster you cannot save everyone. There's nothing more terrifying or heartbreaking than seeing innocent people suffer and knowing you don't have the power to stop it all. That's the emotional core of E-Day. Fighting monsters is one thing, failing to save people from them, that's the kind of pain that sticks with you for a long time. This is the first time the series has fully leaned into the civilian perspective in real time, and it's going to make the horror feel painfully real. This is where the action turns into pure survival horror. Up until this moment, the chaos is confusion, earthquakes, collapses, fires, but then they appear. And there's the key. They're not enemies yet, they're unknowns. There's no codex entry for them. No training manual, no history of battles, no reputation built over years of war. They are simply things coming from beneath the planet. Creatures that don't follow any logic or military strategy we understand. Think about how terrifying that is. Imagine being a burning, collapsing city already, scared out of your mind, and suddenly seeing something that looks nothing like you've ever seen before. Something fast, strong, violent, and completely alien. You don't know if they can be killed, you don't know if they have weaknesses, you don't know if they're alone or in the thousands. All you know is that they are killing everything in their path. This isn't respect for an enemy, this isn't rivalry, this is fear. The original Gears had elements of horror, but EA has taken it to a whole new level. This is closer to games like Resident Evil or Alien, where the unknown is the most dangerous thing of all. You won't just worry about taking damage, you worry about what's waiting in the dark, what's coming up behind you, what you can't see. For the first time in a long time, the Locusts aren't just bad guys, they're monsters in the truest, most terrifying sense. Once the Locusts fully emerge, this stops being a conflict and becomes something far worse. It becomes an infestation, a hive. Everything we've seen points to one clear fact. They don't operate like an army, they don't take ground or hold territory, they operate like a single living system, expanding underground, reaching the surface whenever they want, erasing everything above them without hesitation or mercy. Cities aren't captured, they're erased. There's no negotiation, no fallback plan, no time to regroup, no safe zone. Every minute more ground opens up, every minute more enemies pour out, every minute the world you know gets smaller and smaller and more dangerous. As a player, this creates a feeling I can only describe as constant pressure. Even when you win a fight, you don't feel safe. This is not just about fighting a few monsters, it's about realizing the entire planet has become a battlefield, and the enemy is everywhere, all at once. There's no relief here, no quiet moment to breathe, just the endless, terrifying knowledge that the hive is awake, and it wants everything you have. For long-time fans, seeing Marcus Fenix and Dominic Santiago in this era is one of the most powerful parts of EA. We already know who they become, we know they're going to lead us into war, save humanity and become legends. But here, they're not legends yet, they're just soldiers, young, inexperienced and completely out their depth when it comes to the Locust. This changes everything. When we play as them, we won't be stepping into the boots of heroes who know how to win. We'll be stepping into the boots of two men who are seeing the world fall apart, who are losing people they love, and who are slowly being hardened by the pain and fear. The horror here isn't just from monsters, it's from seeing the people you admire break, struggle and suffer. We're watching the exact moments that shape them. We're seeing the trauma that will define them for the rest of their lives. And that makes their journey so much more impactful, because we know where it leads. But we also know how much it's going to cost them to get there. This isn't a story about heroes saving the day, it's a story about ordinary people becoming something else, because the world left them no other choice. If I'm being honest, what excites me most isn't just the gameplay or the graphics, it's the tone. Everything we've seen tells me this game is going to be raw and unpolished. Gears has always been dark, but EA feels different. It's darker in a way that's deeper, more grounded and more disturbing. The lighting is dim, you can't always see what's coming, the environments are broken, dirty and full of reminders of what was lost. The encounters are fast, chaotic and unfair, just like a real disaster. You are never fully in control. You are always reacting, always moving, always scared. That's what I've been missing from modern Gears. For a while, the series focused more on being big, loud and powerful, and that's fun and all, but it's lost that edge of vulnerability. In my opinion, EA brings that vulnerability back. It brings back the hopelessness, it brings back the feeling that you are fighting a losing battle and every small victory is just a moment borrowed from defeat. This game isn't just about shooting monsters, it's about the feeling of being alive when everything around you is dying. It's about the horror of realizing that nothing will ever be okay ever again. Gears of War E-Day isn't trying to reinvent the franchise, it's trying to reintroduce the nightmare. It's taking us back to the beginning, not just of the war, but of the fear, the pain, the loss. If the Coalition delivers this vision the way it looks like they're aiming for, this will easily be the darkest, most intense, and most terrifying Gears game ever made. It's the beginning of the end, and I, for one, cannot wait. But more importantly, what do you think? Do you think that Gears of War E-Day is going to be the dark, gritty game we've been all hoping for? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do not forget to like the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.